Do you ever notice that after a meal, your energy suddenly drops and you feel sluggish? For many adults over 60, that after-meal crash is common, but one simple habit may help reduce it. When your muscles move after eating, they help pull glucose out of the bloodstream, which can reduce the spike and crash cycle. So here's the habit. After your next meal, try walking for about 10 minutes at a relaxed pace. Now, timing matters here. You want to start that walk within about 30 minutes after you finish eating. That's when your blood sugar is beginning to rise, and that's the window where movement can make the biggest difference. Let me explain why this works. When you eat, especially foods with carbohydrates, your blood sugar rises. Your body releases insulin to help move that glucose into your cells for energy. But as we age, our cells can become less responsive to insulin. That means glucose stays in the bloodstream longer, spikes higher, and then when it finally drops, it can drop more sharply. That sharp drop? That's the crash you feel. You might notice it as sudden tiredness, brain fog, or just wanting to sit down and rest. It's not laziness. It's your body responding to a rapid change in blood sugar. If you're finding this helpful so far, do me a favor and tap the like button and tell me where you're from. It helps more people over 60 find practical information like this. Here's what's happening inside your body during that crash. After a meal, your digestive system breaks down food into glucose. That glucose enters your bloodstream. In a younger body, insulin works efficiently to shuttle that glucose into cells. But after 60, insulin sensitivity often decreases. This happens for a few reasons. First, muscle mass naturally declines with age. Muscles are one of the main places your body stores and uses glucose. Less muscle means less capacity to handle blood sugar effectively. Second, cellular receptors that respond to insulin become less sensitive over time. Think of it like a lock that's been used for years. It still works, but it doesn't turn as smoothly as it used to. Third, inflammation tends to increase with age, and chronic low-level inflammation can interfere with how insulin signals your cells. All of this means glucose lingers in the blood. Your pancreas may release even more insulin to compensate. Eventually, all that insulin drives blood sugar down, sometimes too far, too fast. And that's when you feel drained. Now here's where the 10-minute walk comes in. When you move your muscles, even gently, they start using glucose for fuel. They pull it directly out of your bloodstream. This happens through a process called non-insulin-mediated glucose uptake. Essentially, your muscles have two ways to take in glucose. One requires insulin. The other happens when the muscle contracts during movement. That second pathway works independently of insulin, which is why movement is so effective even if your insulin sensitivity isn't perfect. Walking after a meal helps smooth out that blood sugar curve. Instead of a sharp spike followed by a crash, you get a gentler rise and a more gradual decline. Your muscles act like a buffer. Research shows that even light walking after eating can reduce post-meal blood sugar spikes by 15 to 30% in older adults. That might not sound dramatic, but when you do this consistently, it can make a real difference in how you feel throughout the day. One study looked at adults over 60 who walked for just 10 minutes after each meal. After 2 weeks, they reported feeling less fatigued in the afternoons and more alert overall. Their blood sugar measurements showed smaller spikes and more stable levels throughout the day. Let's talk about timing in more detail. The best time to start your walk is within about 30 minutes after you finish eating. Some people prefer to wait 10 or 15 minutes, especially after a larger meal. That's fine. The key is not to wait too long. If you wait an hour or more, you've already missed the window when your blood sugar is rising. The walk will still be good for you, but it won't have the same effect on reducing that post-meal spike. Think of it this way. You're trying to catch the glucose on its way up, not after it's already peaked and started to fall. The 30-minute window is based on how quickly most foods are digested and absorbed. Carbohydrates start entering your bloodstream within 15 to 30 minutes after eating. That's your opportunity to intercept them with movement. Now, how long should you walk? About 10 minutes is the sweet spot for most people. It's long enough to activate your muscles and start pulling glucose out of the bloodstream, but it's not so long that it feels like a workout or leaves you tired. You're not trying to break a sweat here. This is gentle movement. A relaxed pace works best. You should be able to hold a conversation while you walk. If you're breathing hard or feeling strained, you're going too fast. Think of it as a stroll, not a march. You're aiming for about 2 to 3 miles per hour, which is a comfortable, natural pace for most people. Some people ask, "Can I walk for longer?" Absolutely. If you feel good and want to walk for 15 or 20 minutes, that's great. But 10 minutes is enough to see the benefit, and it's easier to stick with over time. Consistency matters more than intensity. If you do this after all 3 meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, that's 30 minutes of movement spread throughout your day. That adds up without feeling overwhelming. Now let's talk about who should be cautious. If you're taking medication that lowers blood sugar, like insulin or certain diabetes medications, check with your doctor before starting this habit. Walking after meals can lower your blood sugar even further, and you may need to adjust your medication timing or dosage. Also, if you have any heart or mobility issues, start slowly. Even a 5-minute walk is better than nothing. You can gradually build up to 10 minutes as you feel comfortable. And if you've just had a very large meal, you might want to wait 15 or 20 minutes before walking. Some people feel uncomfortable moving right after eating a lot. Listen to your body. If you experience dizziness, chest discomfort, or unusual shortness of breath during or after your walk, stop and consult your doctor. Let's talk about what makes the energy crash worse. Sitting immediately after eating is one of the biggest culprits. When you sit, your muscles aren't active. Glucose stays in your bloodstream longer. The spike gets higher, and the crash that follows gets sharper. This is especially common after lunch or dinner, when people tend to sit down to relax, watch TV, or work at a desk. Large carb-heavy meals also make it worse. Think pasta, white bread, sugary desserts, sweetened beverages. These foods cause rapid spikes in blood sugar, which means steeper crashes afterward. The more refined the carbohydrate, the faster it breaks down into glucose. White rice, for example, spikes blood sugar faster than brown rice. A bagel spikes it faster than a slice of whole grain bread. Eating too quickly can contribute too. When you eat fast, you tend to eat more, and your blood sugar rises faster. Slowing down gives your body time to process the food more gradually. It also gives your brain time to register fullness, so you're less likely to overeat. Skipping meals earlier in the day sets you up for bigger crashes later. If you haven't eaten much all day and then have a large dinner, your blood sugar can swing wildly. Your body isn't used to processing that much glucose at once, so the spike is higher and the crash is harder, and dehydration plays a role. When you're dehydrated, your blood becomes more concentrated, which can make blood sugar swings feel more intense. Dehydration also makes you feel more tired in general, which compounds the effect of a blood sugar crash. Let me give you a clear comparison. Wrong versus right. Wrong. You finish lunch. You sit down on the couch to watch TV. Within 30 minutes, you feel tired and foggy. You end up napping or struggling to stay awake. By mid-afternoon, you're dragging. Right. You finish lunch. You wait about 10 minutes, then take a gentle 10-minute walk around your home or neighborhood. You come back feeling alert and steady. No crash. You move through your afternoon with consistent energy. Wrong. You eat a big plate of pasta with garlic bread and dessert. You don't move afterward. Your energy plummets an hour later. You feel sluggish and irritable. Right. You eat a balanced meal with protein, vegetables, and a moderate amount of carbs. You take a short walk afterward. Your energy stays more consistent. You feel satisfied, not stuffed, and your mood stays stable. Here's a practical example. Let's say you have breakfast at 8 a.m. By 8:15, you're done eating. At 8:20, you put on your shoes and walk around the block or through your house for 10 minutes. By 8:30, you're back, and you go about your day. You do the same after lunch and dinner. Over time, you notice you're not hitting that mid-afternoon slump as hard. You're not feeling wiped out after dinner. Your energy feels more stable throughout the day. That's the power of this simple habit. It's not a cure-all, and it won't eliminate every energy dip. But for many people over 60, it makes a noticeable difference. The key is to make it easy. You don't need special equipment. You don't need to go to a gym. You just need 10 minutes and a willingness to move. If the weather's bad, walk inside, up and down a hallway, around your living room, around your kitchen island. It doesn't have to be fancy. The goal is to keep moving for 10 minutes. If you use a walker or cane, that's fine. Bring it with you. The goal is movement, not speed. Even slow movement activates your muscles and helps manage blood sugar. If you have a partner or friend who eats with you, invite them to join. It makes the habit more enjoyable and easier to stick with. You can chat while you walk, which makes the time go by faster. And if you miss a meal or forget one day, don't worry. Just start again at the next meal. Consistency over time is what matters, not perfection. Even doing this after 1 or 2 meals a day is better than not doing it at all. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.